So in the previous class we have discussed regarding electrostatics. Under this umbrella we have studied two different laws. So one Coulomb's law and then Gauss law. So Gauss law for in three different cases. One for conducting material like point charges, and then for distribution of charges, and the Gauss law for the general material. Now we are going to study what is electrodynamics. So that is electrostatics. Now we are going to study electrodynamics. Okay. What is electrodynamics? As you know, electrostatics means the charges are in static. Okay, means there will be no motion of charges. So in contrast to electrostatics, electrodynamics means it deals with the uniform motion of charges. It deals with uniform motion of charges and static magnet. Okay. So there will be no moment of magnet, right? So there will be static magnet and there will be moments of charges. Okay. So uniform motion of charges and static magnet, and both of them gives rise to the current. Okay. So electrodynamics means in contrast to electrostatics, so it deals with the uniform motion of charges and static magnet, and combination of these two will give rise to the current. Okay, will give rise to the current, right? The objective of electrodynamics is to study, to understand this current. Means the motion of charges and static magnet gives rise to current. So here the objective of the electrodynamics is to study this current. Okay, so let us see how. So now under this we are going to study Faraday's law, right? So you know what is Faraday's law because we already studied this law in previous classes, right? Faraday's law of induction, right? Of induction, right? We can see what is Faraday's law. So of induction, this law states that, I told you earlier already, the rate of change of magnetic flux is proportional to the EMF. Okay, the rate of change of magnetic flux, the rate of change of magnetic flux is proportional to EMF, right? This is nothing but your Faraday's law. While stating this law in the previous class, I told you, so there will be a negative sign. Okay, there will be a negative sign, and by that time I told you that negative sign is due to Lenz's law, right? That negative sign is due to Lenz's law. Then what is Lenz's law? Lenz's law states that the EMF produced is always opposing the motion. Means EMF produced is always opposing the motion, right? So when the EMF produced, that force, it opposes the motion. That force, it opposes the motion. That's why there will be a negative sign. So that is so called Lenz's law. Okay, as you know, the magnetic flux is directly proportional to EMF. This is nothing but your Faraday's law. So in the previous class I told you the magnetic flux phi of the magnetic field B is given by phi is equal to surface integral of B dot ds. Is it right? Phi is equal to surface integral of B dot ds. This is nothing but magnetic flux. I told you in the earlier class also. And the EMF is given by EMF is equal to line integral over a closed curve C of E dot dl. Line integral over a closed curve C of E dot dl. This is EMF produced and this is magnetic flux. But Faraday's law states that the rate of change of magnetic flux is proportional to EMF. That's why, so del phi by del t, we have to find the rate of change for the flux. Del phi by del t is equal to surface integral of del b by del t dot ds. Is it right? But it says that it's equal to the EMF. EMF means line integral over a closed curve C of E dot dl. Is it right? Line integral over a closed curve C of E dot dl. Right? Means this is equal to rate of change of magnetic flux is equal to, so this is nothing but your EMF, and as a constant of proportionality there will be negative sign, and negative sign is due to your Lenz law. Okay, due to your Lenz law, where S and C are stationary, where surface S and the curve C are stationary, and this equation is nothing but the integral form of Faraday's law. This integral is, I mean surface integral of this is equal to minus line integral of this is nothing but the integral form of Faraday's law. But to get it in the differential form, as I told you in the previous class, you must convert one of the integral to either surface integral to line integral or line integral to surface integral. But from Stokes theorem for the vectors, from the Stokes theorem for the vectors, you know, so you can convert the line integral to surface integral. What Stokes theorem says? It says that line integral over a closed curve C of some vector A dot dl can be written as surface integral of curl of A into ds. I think so you have studied this in fluid mechanics also. There we use these theorems. Using this theorem you can convert the line integral to surface integral. Therefore the right hand side of the above equation, I mean this equation, can be converted into surface integral. It gives surface integral of del b by del t dot ds is equal to minus surface integral of del cross A dot dl, ds, okay, dot ds. Now both of them are in surface integral form, and here you can write it as single integral, surface integral of del b by del t minus, by taking this to this side it becomes plus del cross A whole thing into ds must be equal to 0. Is it right? This integrand must be equal to 0 only when, this integral must be equal to 0 only when the integrand must be 0. Means integral over some f is equal to 0 means the integrand f must be 0. So when your surface is arbitrary, but we know the surface is arbitrary, that's why integrand must be equal to 0. Integrand means del b by del t plus del cross A must be, del cross not A, here our vector is E. Del cross E is equal to 0. But you can write this as, right? How you are going to write? Del b by del t is equal to minus del cross E, or del cross E is equal to minus del b by del t. Okay, this is so called, the differential form of Faraday's law. This is the integral form of Faraday's law, and this is the differential form of the Faraday's law. Okay, so where B is called the magnetic induction. This is magnetic induction. This is about your Faraday's law. So Faraday's law means the rate of change of magnetic flux is directly proportional to EMF. You know what is magnetic flux and what is EMF. So there will be negative sign for the equity. So that negative sign is because of Lenz law. Lenz law states that the EMF produced always opposing the motion. Due to that opposition there will be negative sign. Using that concept, so we can write this as, surface integral of this is equal to minus line integral of this, and this is the integral form of the Faraday's law. to convert this to differential form, we can use Stokes theorem for the vectors. Okay, so using Stokes theorem, the RHS can be written in this form, right? So now you can write in this form also, means both are surface integral, but this is equal to 0 means since S is arbitrary, the integrand must be equal to 0. That's why we are going to get del cross E is equal to minus del B by del T, and this is so called the differential form of the Faraday's law. Okay. Now, so from this we can find the vector potential. So vector potential means what? So you have studied. So to study electrodynamics there will be two approaches. One is field approach and other one is potential approach. One is field approach and other one is potential approach. In potential approach you come across two potentials. One is vector potential and other one is scalar potential. Using your Faraday's law, you are going to get the vector potential. Then how you are going to get, let us see, right? Now, by definition we know that, you can write B as del cross some vector, okay? Because by definition of the vectors, you can write B as del cross some vector, because so B is also a vector and curl of a vector, again it becomes a vector. That's why you can express any vector in the form of curl of any vector, right? That's why B can be expressed as some del cross A, where A is called the vector potential. So A is taken as vector potential, okay? Vector potential. Now, so by substituting this B, B is equal to del cross A in your Faraday's law, so you are going to get del cross E is equal to minus del by del T of del cross A. You can write like this because instead of B you are going to substitute del cross A, but both del by del T and so your curl are differential operators. That's why you can write it as minus curl of del A by del T. Okay, you can write it as curl of del A by del T, right? Now, so curl of del A by del T, is it right? So now you can take this to this side, then it becomes curl of E plus del A by del T is equal to 0. On simplification of this equation, you can write this as curl of E plus del A by del T. But any vector, curl of some vector is equal to 0 means, what do you mean? You mean that the force or that vector is conservative in nature. Is it right? We have studied that curl of some vector is equal to 0 means it must be conservative. So it is look like a single vector because E is one vector, del A by del T is one vector, sum of two vectors becomes again a vector. That's why, so curl of, it means that this vector E plus del A by del T is conservative. You also know that if del cross A is equal to 0, curl of any vector must be equal to 0. You have studied in fluid mechanics. Then that vector can be expressed as minus gradient of some scalar. Minus gradient of some scalar. You have studied this concept in fluid mechanics. Is it right? That's why using this concept, so you can write it as curl of some vector is equal to 0. Therefore, that vector E plus del A by del T can be written as minus gradient of some scalar. Minus gradient of some scalar. Okay. So I have taken that scalar as phi. Right. So but you know what is phi? Phi is, so it is nothing but your electric flux. Right. So sorry, magnetic flux. Surface integral of B dot ds. Is it right? So your phi is nothing but, so your magnetic flux B dot d, surface integral of B dot ds. So here you know phi is equal to surface integral of B dot ds, but Surface integral of B means what? You know, del cross A. You have taken B as del cross A into ds. Is it right? Therefore, converting this into a line integral, because there will be curl using Stokes theorem, you can convert it into, so a line integral, you can write it as phi is equal to line integral over a curve C of what? A dot dl. You can write it as line integral over a curve C of A dot dl using a Stokes theorem. Okay. Now, so by substituting phi in the equation here, so what we have converted this equation here, so that will becomes, okay, what you are going to get. So sorry, so before going to substitution, you have to you have to find the rate of change of this, then rate of change del phi by del t, okay, is equal to minus, sorry, so this is your phi, extremely sorry, this is your phi, but integral form of Faraday's law, you know, integral form of Faraday's law, that is given by del phi by del t, right, is equal to minus line integral over a C of E dot dl. This is nothing but your integral form of Faraday's law. Is it right? Substitution of this means, so here gradient of phi is there. That's why substitution of this in this equation. In this equation, you are going to get, so I mean, you have to substitute this. So in the equation phi is equal to, so in the equation, okay, so look here. So what you will get? D by dt of phi means, so here line integral over a curve C of A dot dl you obtained in this theorem is equal to minus line integral over C of E dot dl, okay, E dot dl. This is by, so I mean, so del phi by del t, E dot dl. Again, so both the so you can take this differential operator to inside, then it becomes line integral over C of dA by dt or del A by del t dot dl is equal to minus line integral over a closed curve C of E dot dl. As you know, so both the integrals are line integrals, okay, over the same region, over the same curve. That's why they must be equal, or difference of those two must be equal to 0, means the integrand must be 0. That's why it gives rise, so dA by dt, dA by, I mean del A, not dA, del A by del t is equal to, del A by del t is equal to, so what you are going to get? Minus E, del A by del t is equal to minus E, or E is equal to, or electric field E is equal to minus del A by del t, and this is so called the, so vector potential. This is so called the vector potential. So I mean, so what we have studied means, so you can obtain the vector potential from the Faraday's law, okay. So this is about your Faraday's law as well as the vector potential, and this is so called deduction of Faraday's law. This vector potential is known as deduction of the, so Faraday's law, right. This is your vector potential. Now we have to study now we have to study the current. What is current, right? So now we have to study the current. The electric current means flow of electric charges. What is electric current? Electric current means the flow of charges. Electric current means the flow of charges, right? Electric charges. Flow of electric charges is known as electric current. If the flow is unidirectional, if the flow is unidirectional, flow means the electric flow of the electric charges, got it? If the flow of the electric charges is unidirectional, then it is referred as direct current, got it? So electric current means it is nothing but flow of electric charges. if the electric charges moving in the unidirectional, means the flow is in the unidirectional, then it is referred as ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ, ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿಯಿಂದ ಏನು ಪವರ್ನ ನೀವು ಪಡಿತೀರಲ್ವ, ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ಪಿ ಎಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ಡ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇಫ್ ದ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ periodically reverses, okay, if the flow ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, if it is so periodically reverses, then the direction is referred as alternative current, okay. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಏನು periodically reverses the direction. ಈಗ ಡೈವರ್ತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪೈ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಉಲ್ಟಾಯಿತು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಿಂಗಾಯಿತು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಿಂಗಾಯಿತು, periodically reverses the direction, right? Then that current is known as alternate current, okay. So ಒಂದೇ direction ಇದ್ರೆ that is referred as direct current. If the direction reverses alternatively, right, then periodically it is known as alternative current, okay. Now so we have to study types of currents, okay. So we have to study types of current, ರೈಟ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಈಗಿನ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ, ಮತ್ತಿನ್ನೇನು ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೊ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ, ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಇನ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ರೈಸ್ ಟು ಎ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ different currents and they are called as the types of current, okay. So charges in motion gives rise to current coming from different mechanisms, okay, from which we are going to get different currents. Let us see so what are different currents also. As a first one so we are going to take conduction current, right, and it is referred as JC, conduction current. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಕಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, the conduction current JC arises in the conductors, okay, like heat and current, also conducts in conducting materials, right. Conduction current ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, it arises in the conducting materials. Here the current is proportional to voltage difference. So here the current is proportional to voltage difference. In conduction current is proportional to voltage difference, right. So let us see. So this is conduction current. Current is proportional to voltage difference means E. So JC is proportional to E. You can write it as JC is equal to, means conduction current is equal to sigma into E. Then what is sigma? Sigma is electrical conductivity constant, okay, electrical conductivity constant. JC is equal to sigma into E, and it is also called as proportionality constant, is it right? So conduction current is proportional to voltage difference, that is conduction current, and it is given by JC is equal to sigma into E, where sigma is so proportionality constant, or also it is called as electrical conductivity. So as you know, electrical conductivity sigma is always inversely proportional to the resistance, is it right? Sigma is equal to 1 by R. R means resistance. Conductivity always inversely proportional to resistance, and this is known as JC is proportional to sigma into E, is also known as Ohm's law. So you have studied Ohm's law. This is nothing but so Ohm's law. JC is proportional to sigma into E. This is about your conduction current. So as a second one we are going to take induced current, okay, induced current, and I am going to denote this as some JI. So induced current, this is conduction current arises in the conductors. Induced current, a conductor, it may be in the form of fluid or it may be in the form of solid. Okay, it must be a conductor, that's it. Okay, a conductor moving with the velocity q, across the magnetic field B or H. Okay, there will be a relation B is equal to mu naught into H. Okay, so as same in dielectric field, D is equal to epsilon naught into E, you know, like that in magnetic field also you can express B as mu naught into H, and D in electric field you can express D as epsilon naught into E. It is so proportionality constant. I mean mu naught is magnetic permeability, right? So here the conductor either in the form of solid or in the form of liquid, right? A conductor moving with the velocity q across the magnetic field produces the current. Okay, produces the current. So that current is known as induced current. A conductor moving with the velocity q across the magnetic field, okay, across the magnetic field produces the current, and that current is known as induced current. ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕೇಳಿದೀನಿ ಅನ್ಕೋಬಹುದಲ್ವಾ? It is nothing but principle of generator. Is it right? It is nothing but principle of generator, right? And so by this you are going to get, Ji must be equal to, ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೆ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಜನರೇಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ mu naught into q cross B ಅಂತ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೆ. But here we have taken H, that's why it becomes mu naught into, right, sigma, sorry, not mu naught, it was written as sigma into q cross B, but B means mu naught into H, that's why it must be written as mu naught into sigma into q cross H. Okay, this is nothing but your induced current, and also you can express J as Ji is equal to, right, so what you are going to write, mu naught ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ ಇಂಟು some EI ಅಂತ ಬರಿತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ EI ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, ದೇರ್ EI ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, mu naught ಇಂಟು q ಕ್ರಾಸ್ H ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ನಾನೇನು ಬರಿತೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, mu naught ಇಂಟು q ಕ್ರಾಸ್ H ಏನಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಐ ರೋಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ some EI. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ EI is equal to like this. And mu naught, as you know, mu naught is magnetic permeability. And equation this one, this is known as induced electric field. E ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು, E is known as induced electric field, and this is the induced current. Okay, the Ji is equal to sigma EI is nothing but induced current, and EI is nothing but mu naught into q cross H, and it is called as, okay, so induced electric field. And 3 is equal to, now we go for the third type, that is nothing but displacement current. Okay, displacement current, athwa idane anta kariತೀವಿ, you can also call JD, you can also call this as polarized current. Okay, ಇದನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು, look here, ಇದನ್ನ displacement current, ಅಥವಾ you can also call it as polarized current, displacement current or polarized current. Let us see what is this. So it arises, displacement current or polarized current, it arises only in the dielectric materials, simply electrically conducting materials ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಇದು, ಜನರಲ್ materials ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಇದು. So only in dielectric materials due to dipole moment. Okay, so ಯಾವುದರಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇದು, only due to dipole moment. Dipole moment ಅಂದ್ರೆ, dipole moment for unit volume is called polarization, right? Dipole moment for unit volume, okay, per unit volume, dipole moment per unit volume is called as polarization. Dipole moment per unit volume is called as polarization. The rate of change of polarization means del D by del T gives rise to the current known as displacement current. Means del D by del T must be equal to the polarized current. Displacement current or polarization current, that is known as JD, right? The rate of change of the rate of change of the polarization gives rise to the current known as, that is known as displacement current or polarization current, right? Next we pass on to the different type, next type, that is fourth type, called as magnetization current. Magnetization current, right? Magnetization current, and this is denoted by JM, right? So ಇಲ್ಲಿ polarization current ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಈಗ. Polarization current arises only in the dielectric materials. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ magnetization current ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? It is understood that in magnetized material only it arises. Okay, so in a magnetized material there will be due to dipole moment of the electric dipole moment. Agar illi en barutte, so magnetic dipole moment. Okay, so in magnetized material there will be magnetic dipole moment. Okay, so alli conduct idರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, dielectric material ಅಲ್ಲಿ there will be electric ಅದು ಡೈಪೋಲ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟೈಸ್ಡ್ ಡೈಪೋಲ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟೈಸ್ಡ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಡೈಪೋಲ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟೈಸೇಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟೈಸೇಷನ್, ಅಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟೈಸೇಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿನೋಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ m. ಓಕೆ, ಡಿಫೈನ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಡೈಪೋಲ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್, and this gives rise the current. So that is so called Jm, and that is nothing but your magnetization current. Therefore your magnetization current Jm is given by 1 by mu naught into del cross m. ನೋಡಿ, ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಇನ್ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ MHD ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ನಮಗೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಡೈನಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ನಾನೀಗ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ನವ್ರ ಥರ ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ, ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ನನಗೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ನಮಗೀಗ MHD ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಡೈನಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ಸ್. ಅದನ್ನೇ ನಾವು ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ನಾವೇನು ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವೋ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಓವರ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಆ ಓವರ್ ವ್ಯೂನ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟೈಸೇಷನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಟೈಪ್ ಇದೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್, ಯಾವುದಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಕನ್ವೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಕನ್ವೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್, right? So and that is denoted by JCV, convection current. ಸೊ ನೋಡಿ, ನಮಗೆ ಕಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಬಂತು, ಅದನ್ನು JC ಅಂದ್ವಿ. ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಬಂತು, ಅದನ್ನು JI ಅಂದ್ವಿ. ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಬಂತು, ಅದನ್ನು JD ಅಂದ್ವಿ. ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟೈಸೇಷನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಬಂತು, ಅದನ್ನು JM ಅಂತ ಕರೆದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈಗ ಕನ್ವೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್, ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಎ ನೊಟೇಷನ್ ಆಸ್ JCV, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ JCV is nothing but your convection current. ಇದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಹಾಗಾದರೆ? ದ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್, there will be some density rho e. Is it right? Distribution means there will be some density of charges. Distribution of charges rho e moving with the velocity QE. Charges in motion ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? Distribution of charges rho e, okay, moving with the velocity QE produces the current called as JCV. Okay, JCV means convection current. The density, distribution of charges moving with the velocity QE produces the current, so that is so called convection current, and that is JCV, and it is given by JCV is equal to rho E into QE, okay. So this is regarding your 5 different types of currents. One is conduction current, induced current, displacement current, magnetization current, and also convection current. Okay, So by this I am going to stop my lecture. So in the next class we can see what is Ampere's law and the directions of Ampere's law and those things in the next class. So take care and thank you.